is still exceeding our growth in supply of hotel rooms, which is the inverse of what you see in Dubai and Abu Dhabi at the moment. So, we only have 5,000 hotel rooms currently in Ras Al Khaimah. We have about another 3,600 in the pipeline, but it's a gradual increase in supply. And it's a gradual increase. That 3,600 will probably not look to come on board till about 2019. I would say it's a steady and a cautionary growth. And I think that's what the banks are looking to understand at the moment. If you want to bring a new hotel onto the market, how does that fit in with the additional supply that's going to come in? Are you looking to bring another 5-star hotel on when there's already 3 5-star hotels next door to you? Or are you looking to go maybe upscale 4-star hotels, or even down to 3-star hotels? These are the questions that we're tending to get asked more and more is, have you got that sales and marketing plan in place? Do you know where your guests are going to come from? An interesting fact on this hotel, probably our largest demographic is from Kazakhstan. This hotel does a fantastic job of bringing in visitors from countries where they would never have heard of Ras Al Khaimah 2, 3, 4 years ago. So it's understanding where your guests are going to be coming from, which plays quite an important part into what banks are looking for as well, in our experience of what we're seeing.
Yeah, and as a banker, we do analyze.
How much are you involved in the operations of the hotels? You can't just separate yourself as an owner from the operations. You need to make sure you've got that asset management structure in place, that there is control not only over the top line, but also on the owner's return.
That's very clear. So supply and demand, the fundamentals of the business from a revenue perspective is clearly important. Oliver, from a potential investor comes to you and says, this is my hotel, this is my marketing plan, I've got a great marketing plan, it's bringing in all the Kazakhs. What else is important to you from the product perspective?
Yeah, let's go one step backwards in the procedure, how we start looking. We want to support and cooperate with and do business with. We're reviewing this list, and it's open to additions, and it's also open to changes. But it's different from an approach that other banks have, which are a bit more open to more opportunistic situations. So we only work with, most of our efforts are focused on working with established clients, or to bring up good reasons why we want to onboard a new client. So it starts there. And we want to see that the company for which we are about to finance a new transaction has the right professional experience, is cooperating with the right business partners of, good professional standing and with the right and suitable experience in terms of development consultants, engineering consultants, hotel manager, facility managers. We want to see that this project is embedded in the right framework of professional advisors. And then, as a second step, we want to see that the owner itself is motivated to push this project through and to make it a success. In good times, that's easy, but also in more difficult times, that there's real motivation, which means part of it is the owners have money invested, real money, not as not only gifted land, and that they do have the strengths to support the project if and when needed. So these are important elements for us.
You mentioned the land component, and this is something that we see. We do a lot of feasibility work and business planning around clients. How important is the land component, but more importantly, the equity component? Because what we see is clients coming to us with a fantastic idea. They don't have a lot of money, but they've got a bit of land. And essentially the only thing they're putting on the table when they want to go and talk about raising some debt against the project is the land component. And as you said earlier, quite often that's gifted land. What is your approach? I'd like to start with your approach and then switch that to the other side, to Alison's side, and then discuss what other opportunities there are for actually trying to get a deal done when this is your circumstance.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a particularity in the region here with the land, and sometimes it's even gifted. We do take it into consideration. It's part of the total cost. We can't ignore it. Land is just what it is, and it does have a value. I know my colleague in the risk department, they take a bit of a discount to the value of the land because it's always difficult to enforce, and it's difficult to put a firm price to it because it only serves a certain purpose, and it's difficult to find a different value for the land in any workout situation. So I know my colleague in the risk department, they discount the land, but then in their analysis they allow for a higher loan to value. So there is a bit of give and take. So hopefully they arrive at the same outcome of their analysis as we do when we put the case forward. And we take that into consideration.
Yeah, and I would agree with everything you just said, Oliver. You know, we are benefited. Generally, our land is gifted to us, so obviously that is of great benefit to us if we are developing a new hotel. But I think, you know, the discussions that we're having at the moment, they want more than land. Often the banks will want an element of capital being put in as well. So that we are seeing more and more frequently, depending on the business model. There's a lot of discussions that we have with regards to who operators will be and making sure it's the right operator for the location. But the other thing that I think you touched on, which is exactly right, is making sure you've got the right advisors with you. Now, from our own perspective, if we are developing our own hotel, we have that in-house, but we also do a lot of work with other owners who don't have their own hospitality expertise and their hospitality practice, where they may ask us to come in to help them with that development, building the business case and providing that extra support to the banks.